Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Hari Om. Glad to be here to share my reflections on this Ramana's Atma Vichar series. Atma Vichar, Vichar means inquiry. Atma is referring to the self, meaning I. So, to rephrase it, Atma Vichar could be said as a question, who am I? The Vichar means to inquire. So, the inquiry into the subject, who is this subject? I. So, who am I is this inquiry is all about. And the question arises, don't I already know who I am? Then I think I know a lot of things about me. I think I know a lot of things about me. So when I think I know, then what is the need to have this inquiry as to who I am? Then as if that is not bad enough, then the scriptures say, you are not the body, you are not the mind, you are not the intellect. In short, they say, you are not what you think who you are, or you are not whom you think you are. Then the scriptures talk about Atma Jnana, the knowledge of the self. So when you hear all of this, it's all confusing. First I thought, okay, I know who I am, I used to know. Now somebody came and confused me in this name of Atma Vichar, who am I inquiry, and then the quoted scriptures, where the scriptures say, whatever I thought about me is all false, wrong, I am not any of them. And then there's a thing called Atma Jnana, the knowledge of the self. And then the scriptures also say that is the purpose of life, knowing who I am. Atma Jnana is the very purpose of life. So, sometimes when we hear all of this, it's very confusing as to what this self-knowledge is. How do I know myself? So, we are going to again use Upadesa Sara, one of the verses in Upadesa Sara, as to how we conduct this inquiry. More than how we conduct this inquiry, it's what is this self-knowledge and how do we get there? So, that is the purpose, and we are going to discuss the verse number 26 in Upadesa Sara. The same verse is there in Upadesa Undiyar also. So, the Upadesa Sara verse goes as Atma Samstiti Swatma Darshanam आत्म निर्द्वयात् आत्म निष्ठतः, आत्म संस्थिति स्वात्म दर्शनम आत्म निर्द्वयात् आत्म निष्ठतः. So this is the Upadesasara verse in English, sorry, in Sanskrit. I will translate it in English. But before translating that, I will also share the Tamil verse, Upadesa Undiyar, where it goes on as தானாய் இருத்தலே தன்னை அறிதலாம், தான் ரெண்டு அற்றதால் உந்தி பெற, தன்மய நிட்டை இது உந்தி பெற. தானாய் இருத்தலாம் தன்னை அறிதலாம், தான் ரெண்டு அற்றதால் உந்தி பெற, தன்மய நிட்டை இது உந்தி பெற. So that is the Upadesa Undiyar stanza. Now let's try to reflect on this verse. So the Sanskrit verse goes as Atma Samsthiti. Atma Samsthiti is roughly translated abidance in the self. Is Swatma Darshanam. It is the vision of yourself, or the knowledge of the self is nothing but abidance in the self. And it goes on to say, Atma Nirdvayat, that means when there is no two. Dvayam means two, so when there is no two in Atma, that is what we call Atma Nishtata. Again, Atma Nishtata, roughly translated, abidance in the self. So, how to understand this is the vision of the self, the self knowledge is gained by abiding in the self. This is statement number one. The vision of the knowledge, or the vision of the self, or the self knowledge is gained by abiding in the self. Okay, then how do you abide in the self? That is the second statement. Atma Nirdvayat Atma Nishtata. So, what is abidance in the self? Atma Nishtata. Atma Nirdvayat, when there is no two in other self. And what is this self? And how to abide in this? It talks about Atma Nirdvaya. Then when there is no two in the self. That is abidance in the self. Ramana Maharshi is very compassionate. He says, what is abidance in the self? When there is no two in the Atma. So, again and again you are using the same word, Atma, self. But that's what we are asking. What is this Atma? What is this self? So, answer to that is, the key answer is that, first let's go about this abidance business. Abidance, the Sanskrit word what is used here is samsthiti. Another word which is used is nishtataha. Samsthiti, nishtataha. So, these are all these words have the same root. Staha means standing. Samsthiti means standing firm. Nishtata means again standing without wavering. Nischayena. The ni prefix is to say that without any wavering. Nischayena sthiti, meaning to stand. So, what is this standing business? Now, all of a sudden, we are talking about Atma, and what is this standing business? Standing means, you see, normally we relate when you want to have stability without any support. The only way you can be stable without any support is by standing on your leg. The sitting on the chair, you are taking the support of the chair. So, you stand. So, when you place your legs firmly, stand firm. How do we stand firm? How do we stand firm means, just like physically we stand using our legs, we try to stand firm in a stable manner. How do we stand firm without any agitations, without any disturbances? Because the world as such is constantly changing, and all these changes are causing disturbances within. Whatever happens outside is continuously creating disturbances within. And normally we seek peace. We want to be peaceful, we want to be calm. In other words, we want stability. So that stability, sometimes we may believe that stability comes from outside, the external objects. But then those objects change, then the stability is lost. So here we are seeking stability. So that stability can come only when you support yourself with something which is always there. The stability can come if you take the support of something which is always there. So normally we try to gain stability by grabbing physical objects, some thoughts, emotions, relationships, etc. We try to use all of these to gain stability. But none of that will be always there. So therefore, the stability provided by any of that is not permanent. So you can't call it stability really. It's a very temporary thing. So this samsthiti or nishtata is that standing firm, abiding means by holding which you don't waver, you don't lose your balance, you don't get disturbed. That is the support we should take to remain stable, to remain calm, to remain undisturbed. So that, what is that? That is, as I said, you have to take the support of what is there all the time with you. The scriptures say the only thing which is always there with you is only you. Only thing which is always there with you is you only. So what is this you? Now, what the scripture says, when they say the only thing which is always there with you is you, don't mistake that word you to be your physical body. The physical body changes. So when the body goes through some changes, then we get disturbed. It could be grey hair, or it could be losing weight, or it could be putting on weight. Any of this is enough to trigger disturbances. So then definitely you can't derive stability from the physical body. So then the only thing which is always there with you, meaning you should not derive the meaning that it is referring to the body. And similarly, even with the mind, whether it's emotion or intellectual thoughts, also they keep on changing. So they also, you cannot say they are always with you. They come, emotions go. So when some conducive emotions are there, you are stable. When that emotion is lost, then again you are disturbed. So similarly, the intellectual ideas, etc. So definitely even the mind or intellect, none of them you can say is always there with you. So then what is indicated is you are beyond the body, the mind, intellect. Who you are is something which is beyond the mind, this changing body, this changing mind, this changing intellect. And that is always there, that is constant. And that is who you really are. And that is what is pointed out using the word Atma. So, the word Atma meaning it is I. That I is always there. Not I am this person, no, the person keeps changing. The personality is constantly in a flux. The body is changing, the emotions are changing, the intellectual ideas are changing, and my possessions are changing. So, all of that is part of personality. But I am not the personality. I am using the personality, but I am not the personality. So, who is this I, who is using this personality? That I, that is the real me, the scriptures say. And that is constant, that doesn't change. So, if you learn to use that as a support, where you need to root is the root that thing which doesn't change, and that is nothing but your own self, because that is always there with you. So, Atma Samsthiti is rooting in your own self, that which doesn't change is the knowledge of the self. When you learn to root yourself in your own self, that is nothing but that's how you gain the knowledge of who you are. Swatma Darshanam. When you learn to root yourself in yourself, then you gain the knowledge of who you are. So, when you learn to root yourself in yourself, and how do you root yourself in yourself is explained as Atma Nirdvaya. Atma Nirdvaya means when there is no two you. What is this? When there is no two you, meaning when we talk about I am a person. So, you ask me who are you? I say I am a Swami. Then you ask me what is your name? I say Gunatitananda. So, see, now about me there are two things. One is Swami, then name Gunatitananda, male, human being, and you go on listing things. So, when you dissolve all these thoughts, what you have about you, when you dissolve all these thoughts, what you have about you as I am this, I am that, etc., that is what is referred to as Atma Nirdvaya, meaning when you have no thoughts about you, meaning you say I, after I, if anything comes along, then it becomes a thought. If there is nothing to come, after that you can't form a thought. So, when you say I, you cannot just say I. After I, something comes. I am this, I am that, I want this, I had to go here, I had to do this, I am like this. So, when you dissolve all those thoughts, when only I remains without anything to follow, meaning only I remaining without trying to attach anything to that. So, that the thought of the body doesn't come, the thought of my emotions don't come, the thought of my knowledge doesn't come, no thoughts about me comes. Yet, no thoughts about me come, not falling asleep, because there are no thoughts about me. But that is not what we are referring to. You are awake, you are alert, you are aware, but you are not aware of I am this, I am that, because you have given up all those thoughts. And when you have no thoughts about you, by dissolving all those thoughts about you, normally we call this meditation. So, whole idea of meditation is where you dissolve all the thoughts. So, you will end up in a situation where you have no thoughts about you. And when you have no thoughts about you, interesting thing which we don't realize is that when you have a thought about you, usually that thought is not about you, but about that body, mind and intellect or anything else. And interestingly, all of those things will change. So those changes will trigger more thoughts. So therefore, you don't get a chance to remain calm, peaceful, undisturbed. But when there is no thought about you, meaning there is no thought about the body, mind, intellect, personality, the things associated with that, when there are no thoughts about any of these things, then you are not experiencing anything which is changing. You are not experiencing anything which is changing. When you are not experiencing anything which is changing, then there is no cause of disturbance. There is no loss of peace. And that is where you can truly abide. That is where you can truly root yourself. That is what is Atmanishtata. So, Atmanirdayat, Atmanishtata. So, that is the abidance in the self. And when you manage to abide in the self, where you are aware, you are alert, you are not fallen asleep, you are aware, you are alert, yet you are not aware of anything specific. Because anything, when you become aware of anything specific, you come to know the finite changing objects. But when you are aware, when you are alert, yet you are not aware of anything specific, that's the time you are experiencing the infinite. That's the time you are experiencing the infinite. That experience of that infinite state is nothing but you, your own self. So, gaining the infinite nature of you, or gaining the experience of the infinite nature of you, is the real knowledge of the self. Swatma Darshanam. When you get the vision of the self, what is meant by vision of the self is experiencing who you really are. And that who you really are is not an experience which is gained by thoughts, because if you gain it by thoughts, then it is part of the parcel of this personality. That goes against Atma Nirdvayat. So, when there are no thoughts, yet you are aware and you are alert and you are aware of your presence, without resorting to any thoughts, without resorting to any definitions saying that I am this, I am this, I am this. When you experience, when you go through that experience, minus all the thoughts, that is what is known as vision of the self, or the self-knowledge, or Atma Jnana. So, that vision of the self or the self-knowledge is gained by rooting or abiding in your own self. And how to root or how to abide in your own self, the key to that is Atma Nirdvaya. So, when you resolve and dissolve all the thoughts you have about you, that will lead to abidance in the self, rooting in the self. And when you abide in the self, when you root in the self, then you experience who you are. And that is what is indicated here by Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi as Swatma Darshanam, or in Tamil he has said Thannai Aridal. So, Thannai Aridal is not an experience of the mind through by saying this is me. But Thannai Aridal, or knowing yourself, is by transcending the mind, transcending the thoughts. When you don't resort to thoughts to know who you are, that's the time you get the vision of who you are.